Welcome to Landscapers Challenge. I'm Marianne Curran. When David and Susan Steno were shopping for their first home, a barren front yard and an asphalt backyard nearly kept them from touring the house. But once inside, it was the charming interior of the cottage-style bungalow that stole their hearts and made them homeowners. The Stenos are happy with the results and eager to turn their attention to their neglected front yard. Let's meet them now.
I think we feel pretty much like any new homeowners do. I mean, it's a great feeling to be able to pull up to your own home. However, it doesn't really kick in for me until I'm inside my house because the exterior needs work, obviously.
I think by totally renovating the front yard, we could really pull the neat characteristics of the home right out to the street so that right as you're passing by, you immediately think, wow, that's a great house.
After months of looking at magazines and gazing at their neighbors' yards with envy, the Stenos are ready to take action.
The porch is fairly good size. One of the problems that we have with it, though, is that it's made up of two different types of cement. There's a newer area over here and older cement over here. So we'd like to give it some type of treatment, some resurfacing or something that would give it more of a unified look and tie it all together. At the edge of the porch, there are a couple of these large bushes, which are actually pretty attractive when they're blooming. We really like the flowers. But they don't really tie into anything else. They're kind of misshaped, and we would not have a problem to see either one of them go.
Susan and David would also like to lose the walkway that splits their already narrow yard down the middle.
The driveway has some obvious problems. The root system from this tree has torn it up pretty badly, so it is in need of some repaving. And then we have our tree, which in theory is nice, but it's not a very healthy tree, and it actually blocks whatever kind of view we might have of the mountainside.
The Chinese elm also shades a large portion of the yard, which has contributed to an unhealthy lawn. But the tree holds another unsightly surprise.
The curious thing about this tree, we're not sure what this is all about, but there is an iron stake that I think was used to straighten it, but it's now growing out of the trunk. So that's a problem in and of itself.
And for such a small yard and a small house, the scale of this tree is just too large for the yard. I'm really excited to get this project underway and get it done so that we can finally have people over and kind of welcome them to our home.
David and Susan's front yard presents quite a challenge. To begin with, they want to repave the driveway and create a new walkway up to the house. They'd like to remove their existing tree. They want a design that reflects the informal and friendly style of the home's interior with lots of colorful and fragrant plants. And they want to do it all on a budget of $12,500 for labor and materials. In our third spot is the design team of Terry Morrill of Pacific Pavingstone and Annie St. Clair of Through the Woods Design. Terry holds a degree in architectural engineering, while Annie has 15 years' experience in landscape design.
Annie and I like to work together on projects mainly because she's a terrific designer. She can handle all the softscape and the color, and we do the hardscape, and we actually complement each other really well.
I think the Steno's yard is great, and I think it's going to change a lot.
Instead of just using it to go into the house, they actually want to use the space, and it's a great surrounding, so that's what we're attempting to achieve.
These three designers have quite a challenge before them. Our last designers are Annie St. Clair and Terry Morrill. Annie and Terry plan to give the Stenos a romantic yard with old-world charm.
Our challenge was to create a design that accentuated the architecture of your house, took advantage of the views, the neighborhood, and the setting, and created a space for you to actually use.
Terry and Annie propose an enlarged curved porch that would transform the entrance to the house and create a sitting area. Steps around the patio direct traffic flow to a new guest entry at the end of the drive.
We created this wonderful little pathway for them to go through your garden, to go through your house. This axis really accentuates the largeness of your garden. And then also what we do is create this wonderful little portal right here by putting an arbor in which you can have your bougainvillea on.
Oh, cool.
In their design, Terry and Annie created a small garden wall to provide privacy from the street and to serve as a planter. Concrete paving stones would be used to build the planter, the porch, and the driveway, giving them all a cobblestone-like feel.
The material, how it works, is it's actually an interlocking system that one sets on the other, and this is a very affordable way to achieve this large space.
With broken concrete from the old pathway, Terry and Annie will construct a new pathway with grass in between. To give the Stinos back their view, Annie would replace the Chinese elm with a variety of 4 smaller trees. And to give the yard the color the Stinos are looking for, Annie has some specific plants in mind.
This is called a sweet pea shrub, and it's a perennial, and so it will be constantly in bloom all year long. And then this little plant right here is called a candy tuft. It's also a perennial. It'll get much larger than this, of course, but it really looks pretty against the sweet pea.
Really nice job. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
It was a tough decision, and we really had to put a lot of thought into it because each plan was so great and each designer really outdid themselves.
Ultimately, we decided to go with Terry and Annie's plan. It was very well balanced. It had great hardscaping, and then Annie filled it in with really wonderful plantings and a couple of trees.
And we're just very excited to get started to see their plan in execution.
I'm really excited about doing a plan for the Stino residents. It's really great when you take a design and you actually put it in the ground. It's wonderful.
The first order of business is to remove the large Chinese elm tree from the Stinos' front yard. Certified arborist Dave Mortimer is brought in to do the job. From the beginning to the end, the process is smooth and takes less than 2 hours. To make up for the loss of the elm tree, Terry and Annie's plan calls for the placement of 4 new trees. Today, the Stinos are off to the nursery to pick out the very best specimens for their new yard. There they meet up with Terry and Annie.
Over here we have the redbud tree that we're going to put one in your patio garden area where you're going to be sitting.
They're very nice. I really like the blooming ones. These are nice.
Yeah.
To make a selection from these 3, what should we be looking for?
I would say the branches, you'd want branches going off in different directions. That's a pretty good indicator that we're going to get a well-rounded tree.
Next, our design team finds plum trees that are appropriate for the Stinos' yard and their pocketbook. The more mature a tree is, the pricier it gets. One of these purple-leafed deciduous trees will reside in the front corner of the yard.
Do they actually produce fruit?
No, they don't.
Okay.
And these are just flowering. They're more ornamental.
I like the leaf color, I like the size, and it looks like this one over here is the best one. It looks fuller than the others.
You're right.
I think we should take this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. That looks like a good one to tag.
Okay.
Tree number 3 on the list is a European white birch, which is often grown for its ornamental bark and colorful autumn foliage.
I like the papery texture of the trunk.
It's a very strong focal point for your garden, so we want it to look really nice and have great character. Okay, here we have a row of coast redwoods to choose from. I like these the best out of all the evergreen trees. The color and the foliage, really pretty.
Yeah, and this will definitely be the biggest tree that you have out of the bunch.
It's very fragrant. I'm surprised by how much I can smell it.
And it'll be great around the holidays for stringing Christmas lights.
Right, and it'll be right outside of your dining room window, so you'll have a great view of it.
Well, this one looks good here.
Let's take this one. I think that means we've got all 4 trees now, so we've had a pretty productive afternoon.
Right.
Now the real challenge begins. The old yard is quickly demolished and cleared to make way for the new one. Concrete from the old porch is broken up and recycled into a new walkway. The new patio is constructed, complete with planters built into the stone wall. Welcome back to Landscapers Challenge. It's been 2 months since David and Susan Stino first put the landscape design team of Terry Morrill and Annie St. Clair to the difficult test of transforming their barren front yard into a quaint English garden. The Stinos increased their original budget of $12,500 to get everything on their wish list. Now it's time to find out what our homeowners think about their new yard.
For the first time since owning the home, I finally have a real pride of ownership. I was always a little embarrassed and, you know, I wasn't thrilled with the house, and now every time I come home, I'm absolutely thrilled. It's exactly the house I wanted.
I think we really have just a beautiful English garden to go with our little cottage house.
We're stopping by the Stinos for our 2-month checkup, and we brought them a birdhouse for one of their trees.
And here is the Stinos' new front yard. This once barren area is now a lush English garden that David and Susan can be proud of.
Hi, guys.
Hi. So we brought you this lovely birdhouse for your new garden.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It'll be perfect. We'll have to get this hooked up in one of our trees.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you like best about your garden?
Oh, boy. I guess my favorite thing is the arbor. I absolutely love the arbor, and I can't wait until the flowers grow up right over the top of it. That should look great.
Yeah.
Before, the journey to the front door was inconvenient and uninviting. Now, the house is easy to access and welcoming with every step of the way.
Now we've got several different options for getting into and out of the house. It's so much more functional, and not only is it functional, but it looks great. Those steps look fantastic. We're really impressed with the variety of all the different flowers and the plants that are here. They're fantastic.
It's great in the morning when the lilies are opened and the roses are fully open. It's kind of almost a different garden from morning to evening.
Mm-hmm.
The new patio is a big improvement from the small concrete rectangle slab that was there before. In designing the patio, Terry and Annie favored soft curves over harsh lines. And to add color to the area, they added a unique mix of potted plants. The old Chinese elm tree once obstructed the Stinos' mountain views and blocked the facade of their house.
The tree was so big that it kind of masked both of those gables on the front, and you know, you couldn't see the peaks at all. And once that was opened up, it really made the house look a lot different, and the yard really complements the style of the house.
I love the red bud up next to your patio. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I love it.
I can't wait till that really fills out and grows up a little bit. It's going to be a great spot for it.
Annie carefully chose the placement of the other trees selected at the nursery, the birch tree, the pine tree, and the plum tree, to create focal points throughout the yard.
We're completely thrilled with what you both did with our yard. Everything's exactly as we wanted, and even beyond that. And I think it's really changed the way David and I feel about our house.
Good, then we achieved our goals.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, Annie.
Good.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All
Terry.
right, sure.
The dramatic changes to the yard's hardscape and softscape accentuate David and Susan's house and provide the enchanting environment they were hoping for. And thanks to designers Terry Morrill and Annie St. Clair, who rose to the challenge, the Stinos have a charming and romantic English garden they will enjoy for years to come. Thanks for joining us on Landscapers Challenge. We'll see you next time when we put 3 more landscape designers to the test. I'm Marianne Curran.